Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. Let's meet your hosts, Chris Angel and Michael Maher.
Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of the Referrals Podcast. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Michael J. Maher. Hello, Michael J. Maher.
Howdy, howdy. Ready to rock and roll. I first have to give a shout out to the people that are watching / listening / downloading. You know, there's 3 ways to engage with Referrals Podcast. You can listen to it, which I know a lot of people do. A big shout out to those who walk and jog across the country. I met some people in Austin, Texas who talk about every morning they go out, they listen to a segment of Referrals Podcast on their morning walk. And so kudos and thank you to them. There's also people who go to YouTube and other places to watch what we do here. And I don't know why you'd want to do that, right? Other than Chris is a good looking guy. And then there's people who download. And I will tell you that the numbers, we started out in the 1 figures and now we're in the 4 figures, right? Yeah. With people that download this on a monthly basis. And I just have to say, thank you to the listeners who are dedicated and focused on truly referrals and building their referral and repeat business. And just kudos and acknowledgement to the warriors out there who have gone from worrier, W-O-R-R-I-E-R, to warrior, W-A-R-R-I-E-R, by building a business based on love, generosity, and appreciation that results in referrals. So kudos and congrats and thanks.
You are the wordsmith master. You are a word ninja. Let's say this too. We did it last time. We'll say it this time. This episode is brought to you by Referrals Magazine.
Yes.
Referrals Magazine. And if you want to get Referrals Magazine, you can go to referralsmagazine.com.
That's right.
That's right. Anything else you want to say about Referrals Magazine?
Subscribe today. Right. Subscribe today. Referralsmagazine.com. Subscribe today. Implement today. Read an article. Pick the one you like the best and implement that. And then we'll put you on the cover tomorrow, right? That's it. The slogan of Referrals Magazine is subscribe today, cover tomorrow. So that's how it's designed. Is we want to profile people, and we're looking for people to put on the cover who have literally subscribed, read an article, implemented it, and then are now ready to report the good and the bad of their experience of reading the article and implementing the strategy. We're looking for people. So referralsmagazine.com or referralspodcast.com. Let us know about your experience with Referrals Magazine. We're looking for people who have gone through that process, and we'd love to put you on the cover of Referrals Magazine.
What an opportunity. I love
Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And implementation is extraordinary. Screwing up and failing is extraordinary. Please realize that by screwing up and failing, you've now surpassed 80% of the world when it comes to implementation. So
yeah, so good. So good. Awesome. Well, let's dive into today's topic. We're talking about the hidden meaning. This is exciting. I feel like we're in an M. Night Shyamalan movie, maybe. The hidden meanings behind 7L.
I feel like I should turn down the lights a little bit. You know, it's like we're about to disclose some secrets and hidden meanings.
I know, it's very...
And it's so funny. I hate to talk about my wife, but that's not true. I talk about her all the time. But I'm going to talk about her, and it's just like she loves these paranoid... It started, I blame X-Files. You remember X-Files?
Yeah.
She loved X-Files when we were in college and things like that. And I think she really loved Fox Mulder. Right. Oh. And she thought of herself as a little bit like a Scully. She has auburn colored hair, and so does Scully. Yeah. And so now, I mean, you turn on the TV, you can't get away from killer ghosts, ghost killers, hunting for killer ghosts, or haunted ghosts killers. Right. I mean, so she has all those recorded paranormal sightings, paranormal, like reality, or I don't know, but it's so funny is like, you know, I think that was the inspiration for her to fill out today's we get all these, she does a phenomenal job of planning this podcast. And so today's sheet is the hidden meaning behind 7L. So no ghost killers, no killer ghosts.
Yeah.
Maybe a haunting, right? But no more hunting, no more chasing, right?
Yeah, right.
We're only going to attract.
Well, let's ease into the paranormal. I mean, let's start with an easy question. Like,
I feel like there should be like a
is the 7L story real? Like, is it, first of all, is that a real story? Just give it different names.
Right? How can that Pollyannish beautiful? So the answer is that 7L is not necessarily a true story as it's written. It is a story about love, and all of the strategies and the statistics in the story are true. So, so everything is true when it comes to the actionable steps that coach teaches, and I've implemented all of them. And here was my filter for the book, was that I'm not going to put in the book any strategy that I did not do regularly, right? Networking stack or the home court advantage, I did that super regularly, right? Either every week or every 2 weeks. But what didn't make the book? Like strategies like the 333 and the 444, right? The 333 is 3 things you can do in 3 minutes that buy you 3 days of awesomeness. The 444 is 4 things you can do in 4 minutes that will give you 4 days of awesomeness. So the 4 things is like right after you go to a networking event or right after you meet with someone one-on-one, you can do 4 things in about 4 minutes, right? One is you text them just a quick, that's straight from 7L, the follow-up text, right? We call it the magical follow-up text. Yeah. You just text them and say, thank you so much, right? And then you call their voicemail. You can do that either through Sly Dial, check out the app, or you can call their work number and you know they're not at work yet. They just left your event or they just left your meeting. And you leave them a message of just simple thank you, right? Thank you so much. I really appreciated the meeting today. And then you're going to email them, right? Straight from your phone. Just say, hey, listen, I just wanted to email and say a quick thank you. And hey, I also wanted to check and verify your email. Is email the best way to refer you or not? Is there another way? Okay. Yeah. And here's my email. Just please reply with any questions that you had. And then the 4th thing, of course, is a power note. Right? We're going to write a handwritten note following the 7 steps to a power note. And, now, when do they get these things, right? They get the text message. They may get immediately, right? Hopefully they don't get it while they're driving, but they get it very quickly. They will get the voicemail within the next 24 hours, right? Unless they're a millennial, then they won't listen to it, which is fine. And then the 3rd thing is they will get the email within 24 hours, sometimes as soon as they get back to the office, right? And sometimes not for a day or 2. And then the 4th thing is they will get the handwritten note 3 or 4 days later. Well, you did them in 4 minutes, but they get them staggered over 4 days. So it doesn't look like stalking or overwhelm from their aspect. It just looks like multimodal approach to follow. It just looks like great follow-up. Well, within 4 days, you can take a stranger that you had a one-on-one with, and in 4 days, you're referable. They're ready. They're like, if you follow up that way on just a one-on-one meeting, how the heck are you going to follow up on a referral? It's going to be 10 times better. Wow. Yeah. It's one of those where, I left that strategy out because you know what? I only did it at about 20 to 50% of the one-on-ones I did. So I didn't do it religiously, or everything in the book are things that I did like religiously, structurally, and often. So,
got it. Yeah.
So so they're all based on true stories, but the way that I wrote the story was completely fictional, right?
Yeah. You mentioned just a minute ago, you mentioned coach. Yeah. Was coach a real person?
So, that's a great question because it's like none of the people in the book are real people, but they're all based on either real people or roles that I've played in life, right? Sure, I've been Michelle. I've been Rick. I've been Coach. I've been Jay Michaels. I've been Alan, right? Alan Hubble. I've been all of the people that are in the book. And it's kind of my way of, okay, this is how I looked at it from this instance, and this is how I looked at it from this instance. So they're all written kind of from my point of view when I was in that role, right? In coach, like coach is a great example.
Yeah.
Coach is named coach for a reason, right? And coach is what I think that when I am coaching people, I have to be like a military drill sergeant. And that's who coach is. Coach is former military. He's got the buzz cut. He's super structured. He takes no BS. And that's why our coaching calls are only 30 minutes long. I do coaching every other week for 30 minutes. And why is it 30 minutes instead of an hour? Well, because all the research shows that hour calls, half the call is fluff or unnecessary. Well, in 30 minutes, you're not, hey, how's it going? Well, how you doing? How's the family? It's like none of that crap, right? It's we are in military, military ritual, tell me something good. Give me an update on the things you were supposed to implement. What's next? What are we going to implement? By when? Click.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then Rick is, I've been in slumps before and then I've been Michelle, which is the helpful person who invites people to events and helps collaborate with people down there. Now, Michelle is a big love interest in the book. I'm not sure if I've ever played that role. Everybody loves Michelle, right?
Maybe a skit. I don't know. Maybe one of your events, maybe a CRT event or somewhere. Maybe a
do
skit.
All of them?
Well, yeah. Where you? Yeah.
What is that called? IDA, right? Isn't it like individual?
I don't know.
Something like you actually do an individual act, right?
Oh, nice. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Right.
And you are all the different people. So,
I like it.
Yes,
I think
you pull that off.
That would be amazing.
It'd be interesting.
That would be. Well, tell me about the restaurant, like EVT.
Yeah.
Is that a real place?
Yeah. So
maybe it's not called EVT, but like.
That's right. So here's the thing, right? Is that so there's a lot of, I call this a power parable, first of all, right? So power parable, and it's a power parable because it's a parable, and that made it the most difficult to write, was changing the strategies or a tell you what to do type of book into a show you what to do type of book was kind of difficult. But all the books that I love were stories, and so I wanted to tell it in a format of a story. But it's a power parable because there's a lot of things out there that are just stories, but it's like you're kind of like, what's the point? Or like the point is some like existential, like, be a good person, right? I wanted the power parable is I'm going to tell a story, but there's going to be like 100 actionable strategies and how to within the story. And that's why I call it a power parable and kind of created that genre of this power parable. And so within this, there are these inside kind of these like, I don't know, like inside jokes, but they're really not funny, right? Because I'm not very funny. So like EVT is one of them.
Yeah.
EVT is actually a spin on EBT. EBT is Emery, Bird, and Thayer, which is a restaurant in Kansas City where I did all of, like 99% of my networking stacks, my one-on-ones. EBT was my home court advantage. So anybody from Kansas City who read my book, they saw EVT and EBT. If you say it, it sounds just like EBT.
Right.
So, and I was always like, man, and I knew the owner and everybody that was in this restaurant used my services or referred me every year. Right. So it was like basically my dining room away from home. And I always thought, like, why don't you guys do these slogans of EAT at EBT?
Yeah, right.
Right. And the guy that, this is kind of a formal uppity place, and that they were not going to, they didn't like to play on words as much as you like my play on words. So, but it's just like EAT at EBT. That just makes sense. EAT at EBT.
I know.
The slogans and the songs we could do.
Working by referral is not some fairy tale world. It's real. I've seen it. And you can too. Invest in yourself by learning how to run your business by referral at Michael's upcoming live event. It will be a day filled with hands-on, how-to, low to no-cost strategies that you can implement in your business right away. Learn how to run a business by referral that not only feeds your family, but feeds your soul. Go to www.gengenevents.com today. That's www.gengenevents.com.
And then the other one is, the other company that's in this is Hubble, Rogers, and Spence, which is Alan Hubble is an attorney in the book. And Alan Hubble, I wanted his last name to have this sense of untouchable, right? Or like way out there. And Hubble, for the Hubble telescope, right, it just made a lot of sense to me. And that I wanted Rick to look at Alan Hubble and think, I could never be that good, right? I could never achieve, it's like he is in the stars and I'm in the mud, right? And then I also wanted it to be for the reader that Alan Hubble was in a relationship with Michelle Phillips, and it's like Michelle is very simple, but she's special because of her implementation of the 7L system. So she's become really attractive to this person that we kind of look at as like super supremely successful, right? So Michelle got Alan through being a beautiful person inside as well as outside, right? So what was Rick going to have to do to win over Michelle, right? He's going to have to become a beautiful person on the inside as well as the out to even be able to compete with Alan, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of the thought of Alan Hubble, and it's Hubble, Rogers, and Spence, which I wanted Hubble to be the first name, right? Because I wanted, like, Alan was the founder of the firm, and his name is first. And in the law world, you know, getting your name on the wall is a big deal, but having it first is everything. And then Hubble, Rogers, and Spence is HRS. And this was kind of like an inside joke with Sherry's dad, who had HRS Woodworking. His initials are HRS, of course, and it's Henry Raymond Suit Art. And so HRS is HRS.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting backstage access here.
Oh, we're not even close yet. So Michelle Phillips, right?
Yeah.
Michelle Phillips is a mortgage professional. MP. So I did that to help me remember, like, you know, when I'm on the street, it's like, it's Michelle Phillips and it's mortgage professional. Michelle Phillips is a mortgage professional. So MP. And then it's Rick Masters, and my word for life is mastery. So what's interesting in the book is that it's Rick Masters real estate, kind of, but Rick Masters relationships to really master referrals to master real estate. So it's Rick Masters Real Estate is the name of the company, or will be, and Rick Masters, and Masters is a double entendre, right? It's a verb, and it's also his last name, a pronoun.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And then the big dog, Don Dasick, right? So Don is the agent in the office who Rick went to in the beginning to get mentorship, right? And Don is ultra successful, or at least looks ultra successful.
Yeah.
And he, and Don tells Rick, he says, I don't think you'll even be in the business in another year, Rick. And that's the start of the 7L. That's the start of the book. So he's looking for a mentor. He's looking for coaching. Well, Don is this golden boy, like, you know, guy. And Don Dasick is actually Dasick. And Das Ich is from Freud. And Freud named Das Ich, it's the ego. So Dawn represents the ego, and the ego era that is long past. And we're doing this evolution from the ego era to the generosity generation. And so Don Das Ich represents the ego, and Rick Masters really represents unselfishness or selflessness. And in the end, who wins? Selflessness wins, right? And we find out that, well, we find out something about Don. You got to read the book to find out what we find out. But so, and then, you know, I think the biggest thing to do is all right, read through 7L with that thought in mind, and it'll totally blow your mind.
Wow. And
then go back and read chapter 1 and figure out how many different strategies Michelle uses on Rick or during that lunch of a lifetime that you probably didn't even notice before. She uses multiple strategies, but the strategies of 7L are so natural and so what good people do that you don't even notice when they're happening. And if somebody knew you were doing something to them that was from 7L, they would thank you instead of like bristle.
Right. I feel like we're, it's not so much an M. Night Shyamalan movie as it is like the Da Vinci Code. Like, do you have a cipher for your book? Like, is there like a...
If you will take a piece of paper.
Is that today's download? It's the cipher.
Yeah, it's the sheet that you put over
the pages.
And there's a message at the end based on the letters. So unfortunately, you're going to have to download that to get it. And it's in the referral library, right? Which is today's download is referrallibrary.com, or you can go to referralspodcast.com and you will get a link. Now, Referrals Library is free right now. Now that will be, you'll have to pay to have your library card very, very quickly. So for and what you're getting at the Referral Library are the strategies of 7L explained, expanded upon, stories from clients we've had. And it's like 10 to 12 classes that you can take. They're very short, very bite-sized, but very powerful and impactful. So my team has been working very hard on the Referral Library. I'm very excited about it.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's the download for today.
So good. I would also like to extend an invitation for those listening to turn the book upside down and read it backwards and see if anything else pops off the page.
If you flip the page backwards very quickly, it actually acts out a sequence from like those books where you totally. So you didn't know that?
No. Oh my gosh, I got to go try that now.
And backwards. So
I do like the idea of this. I feel like all sorts of people are now going to reread the book because they want to go unpack all this mystery in the hidden.
So I'll do that real quick just to show people, right? So I've got it. You know, of course, as the author, I would have one close by, right? Because you can't leave home without it, right?
Yeah.
But if you go like this, like really fast, right? It's like you will see. I don't know if I can do it really fast, right? So you flip through, and actually in there you will see images of ghosts and haunted killers, right?
I love it.
So you will see representations of what Michelle and Rick look like.
Maybe. It's a multifaceted
or not
experience.
Right? And then Jay Michaels, right? I got to talk about Jay Michaels. Everybody's like, oh, Jay Michaels, that's Brian Buffini. Or Jay Michaels, that's Gary Keller. Or, oh my God, Brian, Jay Michaels.
Pretty obvious, wasn't it?
That must be, Jay Michaels must be Bill Cates or Bob Berg. Or they tell me all the, and they're like, that's Bob Berg, right? I'm like, yeah, if you think so.
Hilarious.
Right? I mean, like, yeah. And it's like, no, that's really me, right? Jay Michaels. Does it get any, like, I'm Michael J. Maher. It's Jay Michaels. So anyway.
I'm going to introduce you next time that way.
Yeah. It would totally blow people away because they think,
what?
You know,
I thought
they
that
think
was
it's
Bob
who it is. I love it. Right? I mean, I've heard everything from Todd Duncan, Bob Berg, Bill Cates, Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Gary Keller. You know, it's amazing how many Tony Robbins, right? I mean, and it doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it is I don't care who they visualize as the one on stage, right? And so it's one of those where that's the beauty of it, is that people see themselves in Rick. I think they kind of see themselves in a lot of the other characters too, like Don Dasick.
Yeah.
And yet they can really visualize what's going on, right?
Yeah.
They can visualize themselves at an event, 7L system, right?
Yeah.
Learning.
Yep.
And I don't know. I hope people that, I mean, I haven't shared this stuff with anybody.
It's cool.
Right? I mean, it basically Sherry and I kind of knew.
Yeah.
She learned something today. She didn't know that I named Hubble, Rogers and Spence HRS after her dad's company, right? And she was just like, "That's really cool." So,
Nice.
you know, there's. I mean, we didn't even get the chance to talk about all of them. There's a lot of little.
We'll save it. We'll have to have another episode where we dive into more. I mean, after this, people are gonna like blow up. They're like, "Wow, this is awesome!" Like, tell us the rest, and we'll wait for the demand, and then we can come in with.
Yeah, I love it.
The rest of it. Good stuff. Well, gang, if you want to get the download, it's referral library. You can go to referrallibrary.com. But
or referralspodcast.com. Referrals Podcast is probably better because you're going to be able to get that and more.
And so go there but get the referral library, because that's incredible. Like, that's amazing. What a great offer.
Yeah, and it's free right now. So I would hook up on that, and then like I said, pretty soon you're going to have to buy a library card for like $7, and then the classes will actually be somewhat more than that, right? So right now, just go in and enjoy it, and that's our gift to you as the Referrals Podcast listener. And you're hearing about it basically first.
Yeah, love it. Good stuff. Michael, great episode today. That was really fun. Look forward to the next one. Until then, take care. See ya.